What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions podcast. And if you're looking for us, we're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Also, check us out on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. You can subscribe as well. Then we have our website, strengthsolutionspodcast.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. If you have any future email questions for our fitness topics, email us at strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Social media is Strength Solutions Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. On Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Okay, dude.
Let's go.
100. Just like we never make meal plans at all, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I think we should explain why.
I think we should too. So, number one, I'll just say this. This is like one of the first things I always say to people who've got meal plans, because the fact of the matter is you go on Instagram, find whatever trainer, and they're going to have a meal plan they're going to send you, right? It's going to be on the website. They're either going to pay for it or it's free or whatever it is. The only people, at least within the state of Texas that I know, that are able to write meal plans legally are dietitians, right?
But you know how trainers get around this, right?
How do they?
They don't use the words, you have to follow this. They use the words, this is just a recommendation, a guide to follow. Here's a suggestion.
That's all it is.
So that's the legal way around it.
What a boring loophole. That's so simple. That sucks. There definitely needs to be more regulation around that. I think training in general. No, you think so?
No. I like the fact that trainers can do this.
Well, I guess so, because we do that, right?
Yeah, we give suggestions all the time. I think the more regulations you put on stuff, regardless, I mean, you're going to find a good dietitian or a good bad dietitian. Anyways,
True.
Right? So
it doesn't mean you're getting a good person.
At the end of the day, this is the reason why we don't write meal plans. Because it comes down to coaching.
Right. It does come down to coaching, because the second thing that I tell people is that meal plans don't work, right? And they don't work long term is the main thing to drive home. They'll work maybe short term, maybe for the 3 months you do it, or 1 month.
You hit your goal,
or whatever.
right?
Yeah, you're going to hit your goal. But then what do you do after that, right? Who do you know in your life that's eaten chicken and rice their entire life? Nobody.
Oh, this guy.
Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking jacked.
Get that broccoli.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And so at the end of the day, I literally had a consultation yesterday. And we're talking to this individual about little things about where you at nutritionally and stuff like that, and telling her, like, it's not as hard as people make it out to be. The problem is everybody wants it in 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you give me a year, I could teach you different things, physical fitness wise. And then also we can go through different scenarios. For example, Christmas, how do I handle Christmas parties? How do I handle all these situations? Yeah. So that way you build these habits to be successful long term.
Yeah.
And it's going to start out slow, but it's going to speed up later.
Right. And that's with everything, right? I mean, it's going to always kind of start out a little bit slower. And then as the time goes on, you either get better at it or it becomes more habitual, right? But I think that you're right. I mean, times around holidays and things where meal plans maybe don't have that kind of way to play around those things. That's where coaching comes in, right? And you can coach people through those things. Like, I have clients who are, they want to lose weight or whatever, and I'm like, well, if you're trying to lose weight from October to January, you just don't. You know, like, it's maybe just not a good idea. You can watch what you eat, et cetera, things like that, and still try and make changes. But man, you're going to be doing something every other weekend, and all you're going to do at the end of the day is just like get sad, get frustrated that things are going backwards.
Yeah. And now the reason too, I don't like meal plans and stuff like that. The success rate for coaches is super low. Trainers, people who give meal plans, dietitians, it's super low. And what they do is they show pictures a lot of times of someone from month 0 to month 3, and they make this dramatic change.
Right.
But they don't show you after month 3 to 2 years down the road.
Yeah.
And then that this person's back on the meal plan. Now, if it's a person who's committed to coaching with the meal plan, it might be a little bit different, which we have a friend who does that, right?
Yeah.
And so people need to realize you're looking at short-term pictures versus the long-term. And that's what really matters. And
I think you have a good point there with in terms of coaching, right? Because a lot of the times, even with programs that we give clients and things like that, there's going to be a different success rate, right? If I were to just hand somebody a program and say, go do this, as opposed to if they come in every day and we train together, or we do online coaching or something like that, right? The difference is in the coaching, not so much in the program or the plan itself, right?
Correct.
I can write a foolproof program, a program that I know gives people muscle, that I know makes people lose weight, whatever it is, and give it to someone. And if they don't have proper coaching, they may not get results.
Yeah. And they also, you can have the perfect program, perfect meal plan, but if you're not going to execute because you don't like the items, then what's the point? If you're in misery, what's the point?
Yeah, because you're not going to do it, right? Like when I write programs for my clients, I have like hybrid clients. Sometimes they're in gym, right? And then other times I give them stuff to do on their own. And I always give them the easiest stuff on their days because I'm like, I know they'll do this, right? If I were to give them, hey, on your day off, you're going to do squats and deadlifts and blah, 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 they're not going to do it. They're going to do that with me though, because I'm going to make them, right? But on their days off, I'm like, do some curls, do some tricep extensions, do some sit-ups, whatever it is, right? Something super simple that is, they can look at it and go, oh, I can do that, right? Same concept with a meal plan, right? If I'm giving people, you're going to eat like I know we always say chicken and rice or like oatmeal in the morning and, this at night, or you're going to eat 2 cans of tuna, some people are going to be like, that sounds sick. I don't want to do that. Yeah.
No, let's go to programs too as well. I like to write programs in a way where you can have exercises you like, and then some of the exercises you don't like within the same day.
Yeah.
And I know maybe we don't need to focus on the exercise you like, but it gets you to go to gym because you really like this type of exercise.
Right. That's a really
makes
good
you
point.
feel really good.
Yeah.
Think about nutrition. You really want that pizza slice. You could have that pizza slice, and in this situation, and then still maybe have a little bit of chicken on the side or whatever to make it a better, complete macro-friendly meal.
Right. There's got to be something that rewards you, right? Because if you're in that restrictive thing, which most meal plans are, right, where they're like, you're not going to do anything but this stuff for the next 6 weeks, right? Good luck. You're not going to get anywhere. It's restrictive, right? I mean, that's why for people who that's why we don't talk about this as often anymore because it's not as prevalent, but like people who stop smoking, right? Whenever they say, I just went cold turkey, that's insane, right? People are like, holy shit, how did you do that? Because that's super hard. But they have all these aids, right? Like there's like the gum or the patches or a water vape pen or whatever it is to help you like come down that, right? And learn a new habit. And it's the same kind of thing with these where you got to have something in between, to reward you to get to those places that you want to go.
Yeah. And then I'll give you 2 more reasons why a meal plan does not work well. The first reason is your gut is like a thumbprint. It's so individualized. Some people digest certain foods. Stress plays a role of whether you digest this food or not. It happens all the time. And then the second thing is I write a meal plan for 3 times a day. And, maybe I don't have time for 3 times a day this one day. Well, then I'm stressing out and creating a worse situation by stressing out. And then I overeat and then I binge eat and it creates too much stress. Stress plays a role in everything we do.
Yeah, very true.
I don't think people realize by doing a strict plan that you're creating extra stress that is not warranted for yourself.
Man, that's so true. That's a really good point. And to the point of like gut health being a thumbprint, most meal plans I can imagine are going to have Greek yogurt, almonds or nuts and things like that.
It's pretty similar to all of them that I've seen.
Yeah. If I get that meal plan, good luck. I mean, they're
Dead.
going to die or take a shit, And so it's like, that's not going to work for me, but I can't go to, trainer on Instagram and say, hey, can you write me a meal plan for someone who has gluten intolerance and lactose, blah, blah, blah.
That's very rare.
Very rare, right? Because they're going to say, go to my website, there's a meal plan up there, and then I'm going to look at it and be like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? Like, I can't eat 50% of the things on here. It's
cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's cookie cutter, right?
Yeah. Speaking of like gut being a thumbprint and all that stuff, I was in Mexico, right? A couple weeks ago. I don't think that's how it goes.
That is how it goes, yeah. Did you bring back a maraca?
No.
Boo.
Well, I had corn tortillas there.
Wow, what?
Yeah, and nothing happened to my stomach.
You're kidding.
And I had steak there and stuff like that. And it made me really think about... Go ahead.
When you had the corn tortilla, did you know? Like,
yes.
Did you knowingly ingested it?
Yes.
Why?
Because I wanted to try it.
You just wanted to see.
And I was like on vacation. I was like, if I fucked up for one day, it's not bad. And I tried it and I had multiple days.
Wow.
Nothing in my stomach.
Dang, that's crazy.
And I wonder, is it so much the processing in the United States with their corn, the way it's modified, the pesticides. And I've heard this from multiple clients with other things, you know, like the wine hangover that people get here versus in Europe. The steak was different. And I'm like, man, we just maybe need to be more regulated in the sense of how we process food.
Definitely. I feel like there does need to be at least a little more looking into that. But I also know the American people like what they like, you know, and they don't want government's, you know, fingers in all of our pies. But I mean, you can see a difference. Like we just talked on our interview that we had recently about the differences in regulations between here and the ones they have in like England and stuff like that. And how when they started to kind of loosen up on those restrictions over there, you saw a lot more prevalence of like obesity and people maybe with metabolic conditions, et cetera, things like that. You know, we've talked about it too, going back to me having lactose intolerance, you know, about just having like straight unpasteurized raw milk, you know, and seeing if that were to make a difference. I haven't had a chance to try that yet, but it is something that kind of sits in the back of my head.
Slacking.
And it's funny too, because to that point too, I noticed that even if I do have a lot of lactose-free items, even though they're lactose-free, like let's say I have, I don't know, lactose-free milk in the morning, lactose-free Greek yogurt in the afternoon, and then, I don't know, something else in the evening, I'll still be fucked up. Like I'll still be uncomfortable, not to the same extent. I'll be honest. It's not the same amount of bloating. It's not the same amount of like, you know, uncomfortableness, but it's still there and I can tell. So I know that even though it's lactose free, I can still only have a certain amount. There's a limit to that. And I wonder if then it comes back to, well, maybe it's not the lactose, but the amount of processing that I'm having in all of those types of foods.
Yeah. I wonder, we'll go to Mexico, try some milk.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'll die. Get a worm.
They're not going to let you back in.
Like, no, he's Mexican now. Yeah, Mexican milk.
Okay, so I'm going to give y'all something super cool. China unveils its first hospital with robot doctors.
Whoa, really? I didn't see this one, and I went through everything.
I sent it to you.
No, you're a liar.
You're
Gaslighting. That's crazy. Fully staffed, only robots.
Well, I mean, there's humans there.
Okay.
But, like, they have a lot of robots going through.
What do they do?
There's doctors that are
Shut the hell up,
and
dude.
they're, like, reading through diagnosis and using AI technology.
That's fucking insane. You know, I saw something that either you sent me or I saw on my own that technology advancements in the United States have kind of plateaued a little bit. I know.
Has it really?
I don't want to say
to more regulation.
I don't want to say plateaued. And maybe it could be more regulation. Whatever it is, there's been a kind of slow down, I guess you could say, in sort of those advancements, where places like China and things like that are having huge upticks. Like, you know, I can't even imagine when we would get our first AI robot hospital, you know?
Yeah, I think it has to do more with regulations and stuff like that.
Maybe also acceptance, right? Maybe people in China are maybe more accepting of technology.
I don't think it's that. They don't have no choice.
Oh, that's fucking true.
And they do have less regulations so that they can experiment more scientifically and stuff like that. They just learn as they go.
Yeah,
it's just, I think a big part of it's regulation, just like the housing part and prices going up. A lot of it's just over-regulated. To me, there's certain things that should be regulated and there's certain things that shouldn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or there's a certain amount, there's a fine line of over-regulation and under-regulation. It's all based on individual stuff.
Yeah, you're going to tiptoe around that the whole time.
All right. Did you know in Louisiana, you can order a child rapist to get a vasectomy if the victim is under 13 and the person is older than 17.
I saw that they were the first place to legalize, I suppose this is the same concept, castration, right? So like being able to not reproduce anymore. First state, I don't know if first place around the world, but at least first state in the United States to do this. It's one of those things where, you know, I saw a lot of commentary on it and I kind of understand it, where they're saying that it looks, the perception of that is like hard on criminals. We're not fucking around. You're gonna, you know, this is what's gonna happen to you if you do this. But at the end of the day, it truly fixes like no problem, because what does that really do to them? it doesn't do anything. It's more of like, I don't know. It almost feels showy, where I'm like, you're treating a symptom and not the problem, because if anything, you could even maybe spin it another way and be like, hey, you're probably doing that person a favor because now they don't have to ever be worried about getting someone pregnant or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like now they can just go do whatever the fuck they want.
No proof.
Yeah, there's no proof. Yeah, well, I can do it. And there's a whole lot there too. But the thing is that it's crazy too, because in a lot of states, at least in Texas and stuff like that, it like they still have the right to see their children, even if the person was raped.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, why are we not changing that law?
I don't know. It's wild, dude.
Louisiana, man. There you go.
Innovative.
They should have the alligator bite the balls off.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
That's good, right? Yeah. You want to look hard in the law? There you go.
We're to send you to the swamp, boys.
Take your balls out.
Be a good boy out there.
Dangle them around.
If it takes something else with it, it takes it.
That's big. I'd be fucking scared.
Oh, yeah. No. Oof, that's scary as hell. All right, dude. So we found out today that binge drinking is just not cool anymore.
What?
Okay, so there was a study done. So binge alcohol use in the past month from people ages 18 to 25 from the U.S. from 2002 to 2022, even by gender, has gone down.
Wow.
Interesting thing is it's more the male end. So I got it here, the statistic. So in 2002, it was 50.2%
of people were binge drinking.
Males were binge drinking, and it slowly ticked down as the years went down. The percentage went lower and lower, and males as of 2022 are at 28.9%.
Damn, so like half as much almost. What is qualified as binge drinking? Like how many drinks in a row does it say?
No, I didn't say that in the study.
Yeah,
but Americans spend an average $105 per month, but having multiple consumption of alcohol in one setting versus like one or two. It was like 4 or 5 or more from what I remember in the article.
You know what's funny is I think I had told you about having like a non-alcoholic beer, like a 0 proof beer, and I thought I was like, this is pretty good. I could imagine drinking this, like blah blah, etc. I was telling one of my clients about it, and he was like, because my boy likes drinking, so he knows a little bit about this stuff. Yeah. And he was like, 20% of all beer sales, at least in the United States now, is non-alcoholic beer.
Really?
And he was like, this new generation just doesn't drink. They don't drink like the old generations used to, which kind of proves this point here.
But I'm going to show you something interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
So men started at 50% and dropped down that low to 28.9. Women started at 31.7%, and it upticked as it went to 2015 to 36.8%.
Whoa.
Then it started going back down, and in 2022, they ended around 31%.
And it started at what?
31.7.
So they've made no change.
So it's more that men have made a change, not women.
Interesting.
And what's also interesting is men are below women now in binge drinking.
Yeah, you're right.
So what does that tell us about like maybe mental health a little bit more? Maybe men are just playing video games and they're not going out anymore. Like why? That's a significant difference.
You could also look at it differently though, because as you were saying that, things that went through my head was that I was like, I wonder if sort of the uptick in fitness influencers and things like that have made men maybe change their ideas about what they do. Like, so for example, I have a client, he's 20 years old. He would be in this demographic, right? He goes to a university. He came for the summer, worked out with me for about 2.5 months, and was like, I want to make as much progress as I can in these 2.5 months. And I was like, all right, we're going to just say fuck it to everything and let's just push, You got 2 months, not a lot of time. And dude, we made a lot of progress. And as we were sitting down and I was kind of sending him off on his way and talking and stuff like that, I was like, look, until you're like 25, you got a lot of time, bro. Like you can make a lot of progress if you really fucking buckle down and like get shit done. And I was like, I think the problem for you is going to be drinking, because that's what his problem was before. He was just a big drinker. And I was like, you know, if you go to a party once a week and you have 3 beers, hey, that's not too bad. But the thing is, I don't want you doing that shit every day.
Binge drinking.
Right? It's a binge drinking, right? Having it every single day, all the time. And I was like, you're going to have to tell people no. You're going to have to go to those parties and say, no, I'm serious about going to the gym. I don't want to drink, you know? Because I was like, it's not going to fuck you up that day. It's going to fuck you up for the next 3 days. You're not going to go to the gym. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to be hungover and all this stuff. And I could see his mindset changing as I was talking to him. And how he was like, yeah, I do want to do that. I do want to focus on this more, you know? And it's like, I wonder if that has a change in it too, where people are kind of moving maybe more towards focusing on maybe the gym is important. Maybe my health is important.
I do think they're more aware today.
They're more aware today. And it's a more accessible. It's a bigger thing. And, you know, maybe this is us talking in our bubble, right? You know, where I'm like, everybody I know works out. It's like, yeah. And it's like, you know, everybody else is probably like, I don't know a fucking single person that works out. Yeah.
Majority of people probably don't.
Right. Yeah. So maybe this is a biased idea, but, you know, it's
I do think the healthier group of people are more aware about like alcohol and its effects. And then now there's negative studies where when we grew up, it was all, yeah, it's okay to have alcohol.
Yeah, in fact, they were like 2 beers a day is good for you.
Yeah.
And I wonder if maybe in the uptick with the women between those years, because what years was it? Till 2015, you said?
It was about 2015, yeah.
I wonder if maybe during that time there was maybe more of, how do I say it? Like a strong push in like feminism and things like that. So maybe they felt more like open, like, oh, let's just go drink because we weren't supposed to do that before, but now fuck it, like we can do whatever we want, you know, that type of thing.
What kind of stress?
Yeah, maybe there's more of that uptick in that, and you know,
more career driven, so there's more stress in careers.
Yeah. So you know, that's interesting. Those are interesting statistics to extrapolate information from.
My part was how men dropped down dramatically.
That's a huge difference.
Women didn't really move that.
They didn't change at all. In fact, they went up and then went
down,
pretty much back to where they were at.
Yeah, and it makes me think like, what's going on with men today? Like, is it just because they're just done, or are there more men motivated to work harder?
Yeah.
Are they literally like just staying in their little bubble in their house, like playing video games, getting
more
things
isolated.
DoorDash?
Yeah,
more isolated than ever.
Maybe they don't have to go out to bars as often because they can just get on OnlyFans and talk to girls
or Tinder. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's just like the fact that men drop so much and women are still around the same. So, and men went below women.
Yeah. Clearly we live in 2 extremely different worlds.
It's wild.
Right? Isn't that weird?
Yes. So wild. You sent me this video. Said back then and food now.
That was a good video, man. I liked it.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about it on our interview too. And it kind of goes in with what we kind of started the podcast with, and the fact that this video was basing mostly fast food items from, I don't know what the years past were, but from a long time ago, quote
1976.
unquote. Yeah, let's just throw a number out.
1983.
Right. And then to maybe today, right? So 2024. And it was showing, you know, like a picture of McDouble then, a McDouble now. And then underneath was the list of ingredients that were included in both of those, right? The one from years past, you know, it's like beef, wheat, you know, cheese, lactose, whatever for whatever. And then, you know, maybe like 10 ingredients, you know, somewhere around there. And then you see the one from this day and it's just like a fucking list. And it's like super small. You can't read any of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, it kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier in the podcast about the ultra processing of food and how
chemicals
it's changed
added
so much. Yeah, the chemicals added, the preservatives added, I don't know, flavors, enhancers, colors, or something like that, you know, where it's changing the actual quality of the food that we've had, even though it's the same thing. Because one of the I guess captions in the video was, I used to eat it and I was fine. Right. And, you know, I've heard that, you know, when as growing up and stuff like that. And it's like, well, shit's literally not the same anymore.
Yeah, dude. It's wild when you see the list of stuff.
Yeah.
Of today, of what's in. One was McDonald's fries on there. And how simple the ingredients were till today.
Okay. Potatoes, oil, and salt.
And you wonder why
Yeah.
people are so addicted.
Addicted, right? That's the thing.
All right, before we go into studies, I do want to talk about this concept because I've been asked this so many times, and I'm pretty sure you've been asked this too.
Okay.
Is sumo better than regular conventional deadlift? And they go back and forward. And I really think the problem with fitness and culture is it's a this or that. Mm-hmm. When there's this lift versus that lift, or this thing or this food versus that food, when you start creating all these things, this is when you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. If you can accept the sumo deadlift for what it is and the conventional deadlift for what it is and use them as tools, you'll be much better off in whatever lifting you do.
Yeah.
High bar versus low bar, front you squat, right? Mm. Front versus back. There's no such thing as better. It's what routine you want to get better at. How do you want to work out? What's your goal? Like, we need to start thinking more in depth culturally when it comes to fitness versus this shallow thing. I mean, like YouTube, you don't look like a six-pack ripped up guy. Like, who cares? What is the information given? Are they really good at working out? You have no clue that this person doesn't look ripped up, but they're super strong. Or this person's super ripped up, has no clue how they got there. They're just highly disciplined. I know people who are ripped up saying stuff, and I'm like, that's completely bullshit. And they're just highly disciplined. They don't even know how they got there.
Yeah.
If I was giving you information when I was 7% body fat around a college, and I helped try to quote unquote help people with good intent, I didn't know what I knew today. Yeah. And I probably gave so much bad advice.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in our interview, I was thinking about like who I was before. And we were talking about programs and stuff like that. And you had mentioned that you'd given me a program and kind of like accelerated my learning. Right. And in that moment, I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder where I would be if I didn't get that program. I wonder what kind of advice I would give. I wonder what kind of information I would think is the truth or what isn't, you know, and it's like, I wonder, it's so different, you know, that moment of you just going, here, take this, changed like the whole course of my career, thoughts, mindset, like everything, you know, a simple moment. And it's just interesting looking at things like this because, I mean, like you said, you could argue them both ways. I could, you know, in my like personal life, it's like if I were to do a sumo deadlift, I couldn't do as much. If I could rip my adductors apart, bro.
Because you're weak.
Because I'm weak. And it's like, you know, then I would sit there and be like, oh, sumo deadlift's hard, you know, when everybody else is like, no, it's easier, one, blah, blah. And I'm like, I gotta fucking do it. Right. And so it's just like, it's one of those things where it's such a silly argument to have. And just like you said, realizing that each exercise is a tool. They'll take you to specific places based on your specific goals. And nothing really is ever better than the other one.
Yeah, dude. So this first study is cutting a few calories won't hurt your workout. So a new study demonstrates that calorie restriction doesn't deter mice from exercising, challenging the belief that dieting drains workout energy. And so they were cutting calories by at least 20% and did not significantly change or reduce the distance at which mice voluntarily chose to run each day.
I thought this was a cool study because you do hear that, right? Where people are like, oh, I'm just so, I can't lift it all. I can't do it. You know, I'm just in a cut. And then they like, you know, significantly reduce weights that they're doing or whatever. And then they probably fuck themselves up because now they lose muscle mass, et cetera. But I liked that study because they did two different ones, right? They did a 20% and then they did like a 40%. And they used what they called what do they call them? Like high running mice or something like that? Yeah. Mice like that. Mice that were bred to enjoy running. And they said that at the beginning, at base level, the high running mice were running 3 times as long and as far as the normal mice, right? And that even when they reduced their calories by 40%, they only ran like 10% less than they were running previously, which is like very, very slight, you know? And so clearly you are going to be weaker, right? You're not going to have as much energy. That's very true. But I think to the extent that people do it in their heads is not actually what's being proven here.
I do think that's true, but lifting and doing cardio are two different things.
That's very true.
And
very true.
The amount of energy expenditure, and this is where like I didn't like it. I wish they had like mice that had to like push and pull on things.
Yeah.
Because weights take a lot more carbohydrates, which take more instant energy to do, where you could be fat adapted and still run really well.
Dan, that's so true, man.
And that's what I thought about.
That's a really good point to make. Yeah, because they did only test cardio endurance, right? Which maybe may not make a huge difference if you are in a cut, but being in a cut and resistance training is very different.
So it makes me think, when I have people on a cut and they're trying to lose weight, maybe the best overall is like 3 days a week of lifting and then do cardiovascular work.
Yeah, because they'll be able to
maintain your muscle, and then that way you're not lifting every day and feeling weak. Because I've been going through this myself lately.
Yeah, same.
I've dropped 9 since May.
Hey, I've dropped 8 since.
Nice.
Wait, what is this month? August, July. Since July.
Oh, nice.
Like straight up, like a whole month.
Nice.
Hey, look at us.
Cutting because we have to now.
Svelte.
Because people ripping us on social media.
Because fucking society says we have to.
Yeah.
So
that's the only reason we're doing it, because I like being heavier and strong.
I love eating nothing.
I literally had a talk with somebody the other day about, it's crazy seeing people actually perform versus how they look.
Yeah, yeah.
And how amazing some of these people are.
Yeah, it's funny. Today I went to the gym and I was lifting for a little bit. And I was just like picking weights up because I was like, I just want to fucking lift super heavy today. And I was surprised. I was like, wow, I feel actually pretty good, even though I lost weight and stuff like that. And there was this dude next to me who was like doing the same thing. And I could tell that he was like, what the fuck? Because he was like a little guy, like compared. And I was just like, you ain't me, bro. You ain't me. You're never going to be me.
Yeah, dude. Type 2. Okay, second study. Type 2 diabetes can be prevented by diet and exercise, even in individuals with high genetic risk.
I really like this study because it spoke to me, because I am somebody who's at a high genetic risk. Everybody in my family has diabetes, like besides like my brother, And
so doesn't it make you question, is it really genetic? Yes, you might have like a predestined, but it also makes you question, I can control this. Like it empowers you.
It's the, correct me if I'm wrong, epigenetics, right? Is that
epigenetics?
Right. Where the only thing I remember ever from learning about that in class is that they talk about like a switch, right? Something environmentally in your life will sometimes turn a genetic on. And usually when it's turned on, it cannot be turned off. And so I have the gene, to have high blood pressure and diabetes and heart disease and stuff like that. Luckily at the moment, I've experienced none of that. I have a little bit of high cholesterol, but I think that's a genetic predisposition. My doctor said so. Because otherwise, everything else I do is right. I take my supplements, I work out all the time, I'm eating better, I'm losing weight, but yet I still have high cholesterol. So it just kind of seems like that's something that it is, right? But I tell people all the time, for me, like exercising is something that I enjoy, yes, but it's also a necessity. If I didn't work out, I would be sick as fuck. I would have diseases.
And your mental health would be crap.
And my mental health would be shitty. And so it's like, I can't not work out, literally. Like, I will get sick and die.
It's wild. But I think this is what the message I was conveying to a lot of the people I do consults with. And I'm like, it's not your genetics. It's your lifestyle and your family that you're around.
Wow.
And how culture has built this. It's not a genetic issue. Yeah. And like, are you more likely? Yeah, but not to the extent that you think you are.
Like you said, you have control over it, right? I have control over it.
All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, please share, like, subscribe. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Also, if you're looking for a program, it's strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Then we're on YouTube as well, Strength Solutions Podcast on there. You can subscribe right now. Just stop. Subscribe. There. Also, if you're looking for us on social media, it's Strength Solutions Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And on Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
All right, let's get these fitness questions.
Let's get it.
First is, what is something that people think is true about fitness but really is not? I wrote something down, and I think the very thing I want to talk about is the amount of time needed to get results for the average person.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a super good one.
So many people think you got to be there 5, 6, 7 days a week, and like lift a lot of weights, be heavy. That's the only way you're going to get results. But man, I've literally got results with someone with 2 days a week at 30 minutes.
Yeah, for real. I've gotten results like that too. I think that's a really good one to point out. I also, in the same kind of vein, it's like how long it takes, how quick it takes to get results. I think is what I would say too, because a lot of times when we get clients that come in and they're like, well, I saw a video, like we said earlier, where someone lost weight in 30 days or 3 months or whatever it is, and they lost 60 pounds. And like you said, but they refuse to kind of post the 2 years later thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you know, you have to have those hard conversations with clients because a lot of people do come in and just believe like, well, shouldn't all of my goals be achievable in 3 months? And you're like, well,
or like 2 weeks.
yeah, for real, man. Yeah. And it's like, man, no, you know, it's not true at all.
Yeah, dude. So I saw this video talking about like fat loss, and this guy's like, this is about a week worth of fat loss, and it's like super small amount of fat. This is if you do 30 days straight, and then this is if you do 2 months, and like, it showed like it just takes time to build the amount of fat that you want,
and the amount that you lose is much less. You
than
know,
you think. And they're showing it like in a clump, and they're like, this is all throughout your whole body,
whole entire body that you lost.
So it's not going to seem like a lot.
I think in another sense too is like how long it takes to put strength on. I know, especially for guys, like I've had clients come in and they're like, why can't I bench 225 in 3 months?
That's not even normal.
It's like, well, because you're like a human being. Like,
what was the percentage again of people doing 225?
Oh, was it like 1%?
Let's see.
It was literally like 1% of the population.
225 pounds of bench. What's the percentage of people could do it?
Yeah, how many people can bench 225?
Would you say it was?
I said it was 1%. I'm pretty sure it was 1%, bro. I don't know.
Sure. We'll see.
Let's see.
Damn it. It just Googled me up. Less than 1 in every 1,000 people.
That's 1%. Is it? No, it's less, isn't it?
The
1 divided by
7% of people can actually bench 225.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Is that like the whole world? You know, like who knows? You know what I mean? Like what population are we talking about here?
Yeah.
But if 1 in every 1,000 people, that means that everybody that you know, probably none of them can bench 225. You know what I mean? If you're listening right now,
I know one.
Yeah, me too. But this is our fucking bubble, right? Where like, which is funny too, right? Because in my bubble, I'm like, well, I probably know like 6 people that could do that. You know what I mean?
I just did it for 20 reps the other day.
But the general person, nobody that you know can bench 225. 0 of them. And that's fucking crazy.
It's wild, but that's the standard.
Yeah, and that's what everybody thinks that.
Or squat 315.
Yeah, or squat 315. No, I bet it's even a less population of people can.
How many people can squat 315?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Well, I got to get out of Google because
you didn't pay your subscription to use Google search. Let's see what this is.
Whoa. Well, I don't know because there's more girls who can squat 315.
That's true. I should say only real men. Only alpha bros.
It says 1 in 6 guys.
1 in 6 guys can squat 315. That's very different.
Yeah.
Oh, but the other one was 1 in.
It was supposed to be 405, I think, to squat, where it's super low. But people think 405 is a lot.
Yeah. And the thing is too that was just men.
That was just
right.
men.
The other one I know was probably a total population.
Yeah.
Right?
How much of the total population
can squat 315?
On here it shows 365. 1 in 100,000.
1 in 100,000 can squat 365. That's crazy, bro. It means everybody you know, everybody your mom knows, your dad, your sister, your grandpa, grandma, your dog.
I know a guy.
Okay. Yeah. 365. I can't do 365. I don't know anybody either.
Well, how rare is a 405 squat?
That's probably even crazier, dude.
0.00012%.
Fuck. That's crazy.
I used to do it.
That's crazy because like
if you
go on if you go on my Instagram, everybody in the world could squat 405, bro. And
even the girls.
And I'm sitting here like
it's wild, right?
Our perception. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, we went off. Okay, what's the next question?
What's the next question? Right. Second question. What program do you have that is the best for someone who has gym experience but is just getting back into the gym?
Okay, so like a returning gym person.
Yeah.
One of our programs?
Yeah. I know where I would start somebody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you might just be getting back to the gym. I still will start you at newcomer.
Really?
Because
I guess it depends on how long.
Yeah, let's just say it's a long time. If it's a long time, you're going to newcomer.
You're going to newcomer again. Yeah, because you're going to start all over.
And if you're coming back, maybe amplified or magnified, but I would say instead of barbells, do dumbbells.
Yeah, definitely. Or like mix in one barbell movement.
We need a unilateral one.
Yeah, because that's the one that I would do for sure, right? Damn, we do need one.
Gotta get it written.
There you go.
Damn, you gotta make me do homework.
New work. Yay.
Let's write more programs. But the reason newcomer for most people would be like, get your stability and down, right? That's what newcomers really good at. If you have some experience, amplify 3 days a week, not too much volume with amp sessions, and it'll help out.
Yeah.
Did you see in science world that like those amp sessions or trigger sessions, whatever people want to call, are starting to get more popular?
Interesting. No.
Yeah. In the science realm of it, that people are talking about like, this is a good way to get the average individual just to do like 5-10 minutes of workout every day, and they'll get health benefits
just to add that stimulus.
And it goes back to our first point of like, you don't need as much time as you think you do.
Definitely. Very cool.
All right. The last question for today, when it comes to nutrition, what is the hardest part for people to follow?
I'm trying to think of what I have for my clients.
I can tell you this, to be consistent, to trust the process.
For sure.
And the last part is how to deal with family, friends, and events.
Yeah. I was going to go like, because I know the main thing that my clients seem to struggle with the most is eating out, but I feel like that kind of falls into the like family events, et cetera, things like that.
Let's go into eating out a little bit more. Like, I think people don't realize they have choices. They see the menu and they go, think like, that's all I can have.
I have to get the egg rolls and the burger and the mozzarella sticks.
Or I want the burger, but I have to have the fries.
Yeah. You know what's funny? So like, here's an example. So we went to Chili's the other day and I was like, Chili's, baby back ribs, barbecue sauce. Went to Chili's. I really wanted a burger. I was like, fuck, I really want a burger right now. I'm trying to cut. And so, they have like a, I don't know, 3 for $10 thing where you get like an appetizer, entree, and like a dessert or whatever, right? And so I was like, okay, appetizers, I'll get a salad. I'll do salad. Cool. Because I know I'm getting my burger, right? So I'll be good about my appetizer. I'll get a salad for sure. And then I didn't use the ranch. Did you get the
dressing on the side though?
So I did get the dressing on the side.
Okay.
And what I used was salsa. I put salsa on it. Yeah, instead of the dressing, right? And so number one, easy fix, right? Already. And then I got my burger and I was like, okay, I really want to eat my burger. I know it's going to be high calorie. I also really want to eat my fries too, because like fucking, I want to eat my fries. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask no cheese, number one, because I can't have it. And two, just for less calories. No dressing, no mayo, no nothing. And then I'm going to take the top bun off and I'm just going to eat it fork and knife style. There you go. Right? I saved myself probably all the calories so that I could still have my fries and not go way overboard. Right? So there's fucking things you can do. You know, hey, did I get ridiculed for it? Hell yeah. Everybody was like, what the fuck are you doing? My brother was like, you know how you're being a bitch. You know what I did? I fucking ate my burger anyway. Yep. You know?
I would have made that decision with the burger because I like the hand eating.
Okay.
I usually change my fries into like asparagus or vegetables.
Ooh, asparagus is good. Yeah, that's good.
And then I'll eat the asparagus vegetables first and then I'll have my burger.
I'll have my burger. Yeah. Yeah, see, and these are like little tricks, right? To where it's like, I can still have my food, but I don't have to just eat it the way it is.
Yeah, you can even tell the cook to cook your food in butter versus the oil that they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you really want to.
And I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, if you're going to a big fucking chain, I know and you know that there's like a quote unquote healthy menu on that bitch. There probably has like a steak or something like that, right? Like just order off that thing. Like,
dude, okay.
Don't get the soda, drink water.
You can get your steak, rice, and then a vegetable. They have that option. That's a healthy meal, macro friendly.
Yeah, and I wonder though. I wonder if people see that and they're like, "Oh, steak, that's too much. I can't eat red meat. That's bad, right?" I bet people do that too, right? Yep. So then they look at it and they're like, "What am I supposed to eat?" Oh well, I'll just get the burger. Making up excuses.
But yeah, and that part in holidays and stuff like that, like going to a birthday party. I was telling the person at a console, like, why can't you have a birthday cake? Just manage how much you have. Yeah. And then also set yourself up for success before going to the party.
Or like for me, when I go to a birthday party, I would rather have the fun birthday food. So if there's going to be pizza, I really want pizza. I'm going to eat pizza.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
When the cake comes, I'll pass. I don't want the cake.
Yeah, right? It's usually from HEB or somewhere. So
so I'm like, I don't want it, right? And that's how I kind of manage that. You know, hey, if the food is something maybe I don't like, okay, cool, then I'll save it for cake. Yeah. You know, and it's like
the hardest part though is your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, they were giving you shit at the restaurant, right?
Yeah, and and you know what's funny too is that's all the people who will like support me in that, and they're all like, "Don't be a bitch," which I think is part of the fun, right? Because it's like obviously they know what I'm doing, so they're just like fucking with me. But it's like I've definitely been to family events where they're like, "Why aren't you eating cake? Like, what's wrong with you? Are you on a diet? Why?" And it's like, "Fucking leave me alone, dude. I don't want the cake."
Say, you don't want to see my greatness.
Yeah. Or be like, okay, I'll eat the cake, but I'm going to go take a shit at your house.
Y'all going to see the reaper.
Yeah. And then they're going to be like, never mind. Okay. That's what I thought.
All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, please share, like, subscribe. We're on Apple and Spotify. Also on YouTube. You can hit us with a comment down below. Subscribe down below as well. Our website is strengthsolutionspodcast.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Email Strength Solutions Podcast. You get emails, feature fitness questions. On social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram is Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions.
Until next time, guys. What? Peace out.